It's time for the Green Wave Coaches Show, broadcasting each week from Prince Street Pizza and Pub in Gallatin, Tennessee. The Green Wave Coaches Show is brought to you by Tennessee Ace Hardware, Gallatin's local hometown hardware store, serving Gallatin and Sumner County for the past 50 years. Stop by and let Jimmy and his staff take care of all your hardware needs. Bank Tennessee, the bank for the Green Wave. Delta Dental of Tennessee. Visit deltadentaltn.com. Double Dogs, Sumner County's favorite sports bar, and the Ingram Law Firm, a local law firm that you can count on. Let our legal family help you and your family in your time of need. Now, let's get to the show and join our host, Blaine Kellar.
Time for the Green Wave Coaches Show, brought to you by Tennessee Ace Hardware, Bank Tennessee, Double Dogs, Delta Dental, and the Ingram Law Firm. Sumner County Sports Editor Blaine Kellar, here with Gallatin football coach Michael Stroup. The Green Wave are still undefeated, entering the fourth week of the Tennessee high school football season. They also didn't finish their game on Friday, still 2-0, after a 3-0 no contest against Centennial. The Cougars led 3-0 off an early field goal before a lengthy lightning delay called an end to homecoming. Coach, did it feel ironic at all after we had all that talk about homecoming that the powers that be eliminated the football part of homecoming?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was just icing on top of the cake. You practice all week and you prepare all week, and you get 8 minutes into it. Even after the fact, we didn't kick off till 8 o'clock. Yeah. So you had that delay, and then dealing with high school kids, it's harder to get them to kind of. You got them focused. You got them. You got their mind where it needs to be, and then there's an hour delay, and then we start up, and then there's a possibility for another delay, and then that came about. But yeah, it was frustrating and disappointing.
Yeah, what do you tell the players whenever maybe pregame first off you say, hey, prepare for this maybe, and then while you're back indoors. I think you had to clear the stadium twice. Yeah. You're trying to tell your guys to continue to be ready after telling them to get ready.
Yeah, we had talked about it going into the game beforehand, but at the end of the day, you can't control it. And if the kids aren't used to it, then they're just off schedule. And but Centennial had to deal with it too, and. It's just unfortunate that, I thought it was going to be a pretty good game between two good football programs.
Yeah, will you take us through the timeline of getting to the field, maybe watching the radar a little bit, or maybe one of your assistants had that task, and then coming to the decision to call it a no contest?
Yeah, well, when we got to the field, I felt pretty good about it. I mean, we had a cell north of us and a cell south of us, and I thought it was going to split us, and we had a good shot of getting it in. I thought there was not going to be much to do about it. And then it got to be about when they started homecoming festivities and got through the middle of it. The winds changed, and the flagpole started blowing from the north, and I was like, that ain't good. And then it got real cool.
And that's when it's raining bad somewhere else.
Yeah, well, and it had been warm up to that point, and then it got cool, and I was like, yeah, it's fitting to start lightning somewhere. So, we just it's tough. It's just tough to deal with, and but we got to play the cards we're dealt.
Green Wave Coaches Show, live from Prince Street Pizza and Pub, all throughout this season, every Tuesday evening. You can find out Ryan DeKeel. Haven't shouted him out yet. Great help with the production side of things. Can find him and me setting up our stage on the patio or in the back room at Prince Street. Be sure to check us out throughout this season. When you go in, either before the game as the kickoff's pushed back, or for the second delay during the game, how do you keep your players loose?
That's tough too. We got a very small area in the locker room with close to 90 people in there, so it's we're basically sitting on top of each other. Because you got to stay indoors, you can't come out and whatnot. So they got to sit in there and you get 90 people in a small confined place. Now it starts getting warm, so it gets a little sticky in there too.
And then you try to get somebody moving around even warmer.
Yeah, you get, well, it's hard to move around in there. You're just kind of rubbing up against one another trying to get to the restroom or whatever. But we've got to be able to do certain things where we had fruit and we had things like that for the kids to kind of to eat on and kind of keep them from getting hungry and whatnot.
A Green Wave Coaches Show here with Gallatin football coach Michael Stroup at Prince Street Pizza and Pub. The discussion with the administration and then maybe Jay Graham over at Centennial, did it just come to a point where you're thinking it's going to be way too late to get this game in? Let's call it off.
Well, we had tried to earlier in the day to push the game up to 6, and they informed us they couldn't get there in time. But when we showed up at like 10 to 5, they were on the field warming up, and I was like, okay, is there a miscommunication here or whatever? But but they said they couldn't get it at 6, and then they had requested earlier in the day, when we said, hey, there may be a delay in the game, they had requested that there not be a game on Saturday due to the ACT testing that their students were having to take the next morning. But that again, that's their prerogative, and it is what it is there. So that had already been decided, and I had been through this 2 times before, and both experiences were awful. I can remember an instance where I can't remember where I was coaching, but we were playing at Hardin County, and there was a lightning delay, and it pretty much we sat there till almost midnight, and finally had to call it at midnight because the lightning just wouldn't stop. And I had pretty much gave the suggestion that if it gets to a certain time, and it's not going to stop, then there's no sense in beating a dead horse in the mouth and keeping all these people around and all that. And so, as it got closer to not getting to 9 o'clock, we were like, they got to get back, and it's just going to prolong itself. And I think the other teams in the area, besides maybe Portland, I think Hendersonville banged theirs, and then Beach ended up banging theirs as well. So, it's just an unfortunate situation.
Yeah, weather and impact across the county on Friday. As you mentioned, Beach, Hendersonville, Gallatin all axed their games. No contests there. Liberty Creek played on Saturday. JP2 played on Saturday. Obviously not a factor for you guys, not an option from what it sounds like.
Right.
I was curious, though, with Centennial having the same bye week as you, and I don't know if you think that far ahead, but since you technically have a bye week in week 3 now, do you think at all about rescheduling that down the road for the bye week that you both have scheduled?
No, because we have our bye week during our fall break, and so with our families and whatnot, they've already planned for certain activities during fall break, and that would be a disruption, and your hands are tied on that deal as well.
Yeah. 3-0 the final between Gallatin and Centennial. Ruled a no contest. Centennial had a field goal. That was the only scoring of the game. In what little you saw, can you tell us what you assessed from your team as you start region play this week?
Well, I felt that the delay kind of hindered our focus a little bit in our execution, and we didn't come out as well as I thought we have in the previous contest. But I was fully confident that we were going to settle in and play well. It was just, I told the coaches that, I kind of felt like we were kind of put in a situation where we thought we had to match a score before the game was called, and so that kind of hinders your play calling. Instead of trying to manufacture a drive, we're trying to score quick and maybe rush the process a little bit.
Right. Wrapping up what little was played Friday night at Calvin Short Field, Centennial and the Wave ruled a no contest. Gallatin gets another chance on the road this week, starting region play against Cookeville. We'll talk about that on the other side of this break. You're watching the Green Wave Coaches Show on Mainstream Media Television.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
When you're looking for the right attorney, it's important to ask questions that address your needs and concerns. Is your attorney local? A local attorney is often more attuned to the specific issues and challenges you may face. Jay Ingram understands the Gallatin, Sumner County, and Middle Tennessee communities well. He's been practicing law here for 25 years. What are their primary areas of practice? The Ingram Law Firm focuses their practice primarily on the areas of criminal defense, domestic relations, civil litigation, juvenile law, and probate. Do they genuinely care about the community? Jay Ingram, his associate attorneys, and legal staff are not only skilled, but they're also deeply invested in their community. Managing partner Jay Ingram is a graduate of Leadership Sumner and has held leadership roles with the Sumner County Bar Association, Gallatin Green Wave Quarterback Club, the Gallatin Lions Club, and he's a graduate of both Leadership Middle Tennessee and the Tennessee Bar Association's Leadership Law statewide program. Why does all of this matter? Finding an attorney who understands, cares about, and is connected to the local community can make a significant difference in your experience and your outcome. Jay Ingram, Haley Medley, and Austin Knapp are dedicated local citizens and attorneys who are here to help you navigate your legal challenges with compassion. Reach out to the Ingram Law Firm PLLC today at 615-452-6613 or visit ingramlawyers.com.
You're not going fishing till that grass is cut.
Dixie Chopper. Speed when you need it.
Visit your local Dixie Chopper dealer today or visit dixiechopper.com.
Score big with your hometown team. Bank Tennessee is proud to be the bank of the Green Wave. We believe in supporting our community and we're dedicated to helping our neighbors succeed. When you bank with us, your deposits help fund local businesses, homeowners, and community projects. Go Green Wave! Bank Tennessee, www.banktennessee.com, in Gallatin at 544 Hartsville Pike, 615-442-7914, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Blaine Kellar and Michael Stroup continuing the Green Wave Coaches Show, brought to you by Tennessee Ace Hardware, Bank Tennessee, Double Dogs, Delta Dental, and the Ingram Law Firm. Region play starting up this week for the Green Wave, going up against Cookeville at Cookeville. And it's something similar that we talked about in week one, Coach. Hendersonville was a team that you had not picked up a win against before.
Mm-hmm.
Cookeville, a team you have not picked up a win against before. Led 20-7 in your first game against the Cavaliers. They came back to win that one 26-23.
Appreciate it.
Last year, 45-29 final. What have you learned about this team to get you ready for your third meeting against them?
Well, Coach Hennigan does a really good job. He's got a massive staff over there that they do a really good job of coaching their kids, and they coach them hard and they play hard, and there's no difference this year. They're very sound, and they're going to do what they do and get really good at what they're doing. And I imagine that's his plan is just keep it simple and just play football the way they've been playing football, and that's what I see on tape, man. They got a bunch of great kids that are coachable, and they play hard and they get after it.
The reason I bring all of that up is because from that first week, it was so important for your team to start 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that the same logic applies to starting 1-0 in league play. Talk about the importance of picking up that first region win, especially with what you've got coming after this.
Well, I mean, we talk about being 1-0 every day, and just whether it be, you know, at practice or in the weight room or in the hallways, you know, we want to be the best version of ourselves, and that doesn't change this week. It's a little bit more important because it does open up region play, and it gives you an opportunity to get ahead in the playoff scenario. So you know, we got to travel there, and it's a little bit different situation. We've got 2 charter buses that we're taking because we're not able to get a bus from our school system until after 4:30 because they run routes. So, you know, the trip is far enough where we're going to have to get charter buses and leave out a little early, because traveling down 109, once you get into Lebanon right there, it could be a traffic nightmare. So, you know, we're going to leave out a little early and stop about halfway and do a pregame meal and do a walkthrough, and then continue our journey to Cookville.
Don't mean to correct you here, Coach, but it is Lebanon. In Lebanon.
Yeah, well, Lebanon, whatever.
That's the another region foe that you have, and we were talking about this last week off air. Was just the league teams feels like, you know, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, kind of a jumble there. It could be anybody's spot for the last couple of playoff spots. I know that's a long way down the road, but you know, this is a good test to show that Gallatin is above that group there near the bottom of the standings.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity for us to get a good step forward and set a tone for the rest of the region play, because you know, but you know, again, you know, Cookville is a good football team. They're 0-3 right now, but I mean, they're young, and you know, Coach Hennigan, matter of fact, when we walked off the field last year, you know, he made a comment, said we're just going to be young next year, and but he's doing a really good job, and the staff over there is doing a really good job. They still, you know, they got a left tackle over there that's a mammoth of a person, and the right tackle is too. I don't know how they get them that tall. We can't seem to find them in Gallatin that tall. So, but yeah, they're doing a really good job, and we're going to have our hands full.
You like that challenge for your defensive linemen to go up against big bodies like that?
Well, I mean, I like a challenge, period. You know, it's just every week presents itself, and a lot of people, especially in high school football, take for granted that just because a team may be 0-3 or whatever, that they're terrible, and that's not the case. You know, they've played some really close games. The FRA game got away from them, but I mean, they played White County close, and you know, they played a hard game with them. But it's just, you know, again, it's just a sign of a young team that's getting better and better every week in my eyes.
Looking at that White County score, they had 3 rushing touchdowns. And I know typically when teams go up against Gallatin, and you've talked about it, they scheme toward the pass.
Mm-hmm.
That individual preparation that they maybe have. I know you can't look into that too much, but when a team is working on, let's stop the run a little bit, especially in the red zone, how do you balance that with what they're already going to be planning on what you guys are known for, so to speak?
I mean, again, I think it's, you know, in today's game where a lot of people are playing 2-back sniffer sets where, you know, a lot of the formations are similar. So it's defending formations, and then the plays, they come after that. So as long as they can line up, which they clearly will be able to do, that's half the battle. You know, they played FRA, and FRA is they're kind of more like us a little bit, and as far as their philosophy offensively. So, you know, we just got to be able to take our opportunities when we can get them, and be able to make plays. And it'll be tough doings because, I mean, they play really hard, and so we've got to be able just to to stay focused on our objective, and that's just to get a first down and try to stack those up on top of one another.
Green Wave Coaches Show filmed live at Prince Street Pizza and Pub every Tuesday. Hoping to see some more Green Wave fans as we continue on here throughout the season. Would love to get a crowd going and get that Green Wave pizza that we talked about in episode 1. Some bell peppers.
Yeah, I think they think the show is like tomorrow night because it airs tomorrow night. They think it's live.
Yeah, maybe.
You know?
Not to be confused. Tuesday evenings we film. Wednesdays we broadcast.
Blaine will be giving out free autographs.
That would be a first for me, except
I know you charge. You usually charge half the time. So.
One more question on last week and that no contest. I was curious about the film study aspect that you guys go through. Do you go through more practice tape that you have for individual players since you don't have that much to go off of for this week?
I mean, you talking about grading wise and just kind of looking at the depth chart?
Well, in that regard, and then I'm sure your players are tasked with some film study too.
They are.
Is any of that self-reflection that they have to do to watch their own tape?
Well, I don't know what you get out of 8 plays.
Right.
You know, and we made enough mistakes in the first 8 plays to, you know, we spent a little time on those. But, I mean, you know, we're constantly evaluating practice film. We film practice every day. So, you know, that type of stuff is shared out with the kids and the coaching staff, and we go back through there and we get through as much of it as we can. We kind of, you know, in about a 25 to 30 minute team setting, we probably snap the ball offensively about 70 times. So it's kind of it's a task to kind of get through all that in 24 hours because I've got to look at all 22 guys.
But is that different from not seeing the game film from the week before?
I mean, it's different in ways because, you know, you're on a game film, that's the final test, you know, and in practice, you know, you're going to make mistakes and there's going to be certain things that you've got to correct, such as tempo and loafs and stuff like that. And not that you don't correct that on game film, but, you know, there's a little bit more that goes into the game film grading part of it than on practice because so much time is spent on the game film as far as review and studying that than the practice film because you only have so much time during the day. I mean, I get the film after practice. We end practice probably between 5 and 5:30. I get the film probably, you know, about 20 to 6, and then, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I try to get it done. I get back to work the next morning and finish it, but you know, I'm up at 5 and try to get in the office by 6, and then I'm watching the day before practice, and so that's a constant thing. That merry-go-round is constantly rolling. So, but with game film, you know, you've got till Saturday morning basically to make those evaluations.
Right.
So.
Few players to key on as we close out this preview for Cookeville, the region opener for Gallatin. A couple of players that kind of have made some strides offensively for the Cavaliers, but also are factors in special teams. Blake Barrett is their leading rusher, but also a skilled return man.
Yeah.
Based on the stats.
Yep.
What have you seen from him, and how are you guys going to have to be ready on both phases of the game for him?
Man, he runs the ball hard, and he against White County, man, I think he had 2 pretty good returns. But he's a hard-nosed football player, and he gets after it, and he's pretty much their I think he's their nucleus right there at running back. So he'll be a challenge for us, man. He gets after it, and he's a really good high school football player.
Easton Davidson, the quarterback for Cookeville, also at times their punter, and I'm always interested in this pooch punt technique that teams have to employ at times. Cookeville has a punter, but sometimes they throw out Davidson just to pooch it on 4th down. That keeps you honest as a defense.
Well, I don't mean to correct you, Blaine.
Oh, please do.
All right, but that we refer to that as a quick kick in football, not a pooch punt.
I've heard it both ways.
Nah, you have not heard that both ways. You've heard it wrong. It's called a quick kick. You're going to correct me on
Okay,
Lebanon. You're going to correct me on Lebanon. I'm going to correct you on some football terminology.
All right.
So it's called a quick kick. It's where the quarterback they line up in an offensive formation on fourth down or maybe third down if they really want to catch you, and then the quarterback will catch it and he'll quick kick it. I mean, that's why they call it a quick kick, and they have no returner back there to set up. So, they try to get good field position and play defense. So put that in your notes.
Have you been waiting for something to correct to get back at me at?
I don't have to wait long, Blaine. You just got to give me the door when I choose to take it.
We're going to take one more break here on the Green Wave Coaches Show. When we come back, it's our favorite segment, one fun question. Coach Stroup, stay tuned on the Green Wave Coaches Show.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
When you're looking for the right attorney, it's important to ask questions that address your needs and concerns. Is your attorney local? A local attorney is often more attuned to the specific issues and challenges you may face. Jay Ingram understands the Gallatin, Sumner County, and Middle Tennessee communities well. He's been practicing law here for 25 years. What are their primary areas of practice? The Ingram Law Firm focuses their practice primarily on the areas of criminal defense, domestic relations, civil litigation, juvenile law, and probate. Do they genuinely care about the community? Jay Ingram, his associate attorneys, and legal staff are not only skilled, but they're also deeply invested in their community. Managing partner Jay Ingram is a graduate of Leadership Sumner and has held leadership roles with the Sumner County Bar Association, Gallatin Green Wave Quarterback Club, the Gallatin Lions Club, and he's a graduate of both Leadership Middle Tennessee and the Tennessee Bar Association's Leadership Law statewide program. Why does all of this matter? Finding an attorney who understands, cares about, and is connected to the local community can make a significant difference in your experience and your outcome. Jay Ingram, Haley Medley, and Austin Knapp are dedicated local citizens and attorneys who are here to help you navigate your legal challenges with compassion. Reach out to the Ingram Law Firm PLLC today at 615-452-6613 or visit ingramlawyers.com.
You're not going fishing till that grass is cut.
Dixie Chopper. Speed when you need it.
Visit your local Dixie Chopper dealer today or visit dixiechopper.com.
Sport big with your hometown team. Bank Tennessee is proud to be the bank of the Green Wave. We believe in supporting our community and we're dedicated to helping our neighbors succeed. When you bank with us, your deposits help fund local businesses, homeowners, and community projects. Go Green Wave! Bank Tennessee, www.banktennessee.com, in Gallatin at 544 Hartsville Pike, 615-442-7914, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Closing out with one fun question on the Green Wave Coaches Show. Thank you to Tennessee Ace Hardware, Bank Tennessee, Double Dogs Delta Dental, and the Ingram Law Firm for sponsoring our show. Thank you to Prince Street Pizza and Pub. Hopefully we'll have the lights on next week. Coach, not a question. That is a question. It's an offer. My wife is a pretty good baker, she doubled her recipe on pumpkin bread and accidentally tripled what she made. And then from watching our show from last week said, your one fun question should be, Coach, do you want some pumpkin bread? So,
I will take your wife's pumpkin bread.
it's a whole loaf.
It's
And,
a whole loaf of pumpkin bread.
I've had a couple of slices, not from that one, but from the other one, and it was pretty good. So she wanted you to have that. She was so tore up.
What's her name?
Savannah.
Savannah.
So,
Okay.
and
Thank
nobody
you,
else-
thank you, Savannah.
Nobody else gets pumpkin bread. The rest is mine. So thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you here next week to recap Cookeville and get ready for Green Hill on the Green Wave Coaches Show.